Welcome to Era Verse, where we immerse ourselves in timeless classic tales from literature, stories that continue to captivate audiences around the world and deeply challenge our fundamental perceptions of reality and illusion. Our gripping journey begins in northern Alabama during the tumultuous years of the American Civil War, specifically at the desolate and foreboding Owl Creek Bridge, a site steeped in tragedy and tension. Here, a Southern civilian planter named Peyton Farquhar stands precariously balanced on the bridge, with a coarse rope cinched tightly around his neck, moments away from facing his grim fate at the hands of the Union forces. Surrounding him are Union soldiers, stoic and unyielding in their duty, forming a silent and grim tableau across the bridge, their rifles held rigidly at attention, embodying the stark and merciless reality of wartime justice. The air hangs thick with an oppressive, almost suffocating silence, broken only by the gentle, rhythmic lapping of the river far below and the distant, haunting calls of unseen birds echoing through the tense atmosphere. With a sudden and brutal motion, the supporting plank beneath his feet is abruptly removed, sending Peyton Farquhar plunging downward into the yawning abyss below the bridge. Consciousness flickers out briefly, then returns with an agonizing, searing jolt throughout his body as he finds himself fully submerged in the shockingly cold, murky depths of the river water. In this dire moment, his senses sharpen to a preternaturally acute level, allowing him to perceive the surrounding world with an impossible, almost supernatural clarity, where every tiny detail is magnified beyond ordinary human limits. He discerns the intricate individual veins pulsing on a distant green leaf high above, the delicate, complex patterns of tiny insects skittering across the shimmering water's surface, and the precise, mesmerizing swirling eddies twisting in the river's current. Drawing on a surge of desperate, primal strength, he manages to free his tightly bound hands by twisting and straining against the ropes, then tears frantically at the noose until he miraculously slips it free from around his neck. He bursts explosively to the surface of the water, gasping desperately for precious air, only to be immediately met by a deadly hail of bullets splashing and whizzing from the soldiers positioned high on the bridge above him. Fueled by an overwhelming, unyielding will to survive against all odds, he launches into a desperate swim downstream through the treacherous currents, skillfully dodging the relentless barrage of fire raining down upon him. Suddenly, thunderous cannon fire erupts from the Union positions, sending massive plumes of water exploding skyward around him. Yet Farquhar presses on relentlessly, his heightened awareness guiding him safely through the deafening chaos. Finally, after a harrowing struggle, he reaches the distant riverbank, scrambling with exhausted determination up the slippery mud and into the enveloping safety of the dense, wild forest beyond. Now, the arduous journey through this vast wilderness unfolds in a surreal and profoundly disorienting manner, with every path appearing utterly untrodden, twisted, and hauntingly unfamiliar to his weary senses. Overhead, the stars in the night sky seem to form strange, otherworldly constellations unlike any he has ever known, heightening his growing sense of profound unease and isolation in the darkness. Deep exhaustion gnaws relentlessly at his body and spirit, but the vivid, burning image of his beloved wife and innocent children waiting at home fuels his every painful step, pushing him doggedly onward through the night. After what feels like an endless eternity of struggle and disorientation, he stumbles upon a familiar dirt road at last, one that leads him with renewed hope toward the sanctuary of his home. He eventually arrives at the ornate front gate of his own cherished home, a long-awaited sight that floods him with overwhelming relief, joy, and the promise of reunion. The grand house stands exactly as he left it, serene and beautifully untouched by the surrounding horrors of the brutal Civil War ravaging the land. Then his beloved wife emerges gracefully onto the wide veranda, her face radiant and glowing with a warm, welcoming smile that pierces his heart with longing. Overcome with emotion, he rushes forward toward her at full speed, arms outstretched wide in eager anticipation, ready to embrace the precious life he believed he had forever lost. But just as their fingertips are mere inches from meeting in that longed-for reunion, a stunning, crushing blow strikes the back of his neck with devastating force. A blinding, all-consuming white light engulfs his entire vision completely, swiftly giving way to an absolute, profound darkness accompanied by utter, eternal silence. Now, the cruel and shattering truth is finally revealed. Peyton Farquhar never truly escaped the clutches of the gallows on Owl Creek Bridge. His entire desperate journey of escape, every vivid sensory detail along the way, and his joyous imagined return home were nothing more than a fleeting, desperate hallucination born of his dying mind. All of it transpired in the infinitesimal, split-second instant between his fatal fall from the bridge and the merciless snap of the rope breaking his neck. His lifeless body now hangs motionless and still from the weathered timbers of Owl Creek Bridge, serving as a stark, haunting monument to the brutal and unforgiving realities of war. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Arrowverse right now for more captivating tales, intriguing historical deep dives, and unforgettable stories that will keep you coming back for more.